All right, so you've done the budget math. You've watched the cost of living videos. You got a rough idea of where you want to land. And then somebody asks you, okay, but what's your visa situation? And you realize you have absolutely no idea what you're talking about. That's what this video is for. I'm going to walk you through the actual options for U.S. citizens under current Philippine immigration law, not the version that requires a law degree to understand, just the plain version, the one a regular guy can actually use to figure out where he stands. And I'm going to keep it to what applies to you specifically, because there are about 17 different directions this conversation can go, and depending on who you are and what your situation is, and most of it probably doesn't apply to you at all, so we're not going to worry about that. But one thing worth mentioning up front, the Philippines is working on a new immigration modernization law that's going to replace the current one. And this one has been in, I think, since 1940. Yeah, 1940. The law governing your visa situation was written when people were still getting around in horses and lots of optimism. And this new one is coming, and it's supposed to expand the options significantly, but we're working with what exists right now. So that's what we're going to cover here. So let's get into it. Yeah, be sure to slap a like. It helps the algorithm and takes just a tad second of your time and really helps out. First, figure out which type of American you are. I know that can take a lot of different avenues, but I don't mean that existentially. There are 3 categories under Philippine immigration law, and which one you fall into determines everything about your options. Category 1, you're a native-born U.S. citizen, born in the U.S., no Filipino blood, no previous Filipino citizenship. You're just an American who wants to live in the Philippines. This is probably most of you watching this right now. Category 2 is, of course, you're a former Filipino citizen who became a naturalized U.S. citizen at some point. You were Filipino, now you're American, and you're thinking about going back. And then category 3, you're a dual citizen, both Filipino and American at the same time, kind of like what my children fall under. The options are different for each one, so let's go through them in order, starting with the most common situation.
Seems logical.
Which would be category number 1, native-born U.S. citizens. Good news. You can enter the Philippines without a visa for up to 30 days. You show up, they stamp your passport, you've got 30 days. Requirements are a return ticket and a passport valid for at least 6 months beyond your planned stay. Pretty standard stuff. Now, if you're planning to actually live here, 30 days is obviously not the plan. So here's where your options split. Option 1, before you travel, apply for a 9A tourist visa online before you leave. The official website is evisa.gov.ph. I want to emphasize the word official there, the word official, because there are some websites out there that look exactly like the government website and they have nothing to do with them. So use evisa.gov.ph. Google it and click the first result. Assume you're in the right place. I've got it right here on the screen. So one important thing about the e-visa, getting approval for it doesn't guarantee you get into the country. Sure, the immigration offers at the port of entry, they have the final say. The visa gets you on the plane. The immigration officer decides what happens when you land. And the e-visa cannot be converted into another type of visa and be extended. It's a tourist visa, full stop. That's it. Option 2, if you're already here, you can extend your stay at the Bureau of Immigration before your 30 days is up. There are fees involved. It's bureaucratic. It's also completely manageable, and people do it routinely every day. Now, if you're planning to actually stay long-term, you've got 2 real paths as a native-born American. Path 1, the SRRV, that's the Special Resident Retirees Visa. This is the retiree visa. It's a special non-immigrant visa issued through the Philippines Retirement Authority, the PRA, and it gives you permanent residency and the right to stay in the Philippines indefinitely. This is the option if you're single or married, but not to a Filipina. There are age requirements. There are financial requirements. there are documentary requirements. The specifics live at pra.gov.ph, and I'd strongly recommend spending some time on that website rather than relying on any single video, including this one, because the details matter and they do change periodically. So just feel forewarned. My one piece of practical advice on this is if you decide to go this route and you want help processing it, only deal with PRA accredited agents. I've got one down in the description. You can click on them. I actually used them with my 13A, loved it. There are people out there who will happily take your money to help you with this process, and they're not accredited by anyone to do anything. Don't find that out the hard way. The SRRV is a solid option. It was specifically designed to attract foreign retirees to the Philippines, and the benefits are real. Worth exploring seriously if the 13A isn't available to you. Now, this is path number 2, the 13A visa. This is the one that I'm on, the immigrant visa by marriage. If you're married to a Filipina, this is your most direct path to permanent residency in the Philippines. I'll be straight with you. The 13A process has some paperwork involved, and it takes some time and patience, but it's not mysterious. The requirements are on the Bureau of Immigration website. You can do it yourself if you're organized and have the time. You can also use a BI accredited agency. Like I mentioned before, you can find one in the description, Filipino Visa, to handle it for you. If you'd rather pay someone to deal with the paperwork, either way, it works. What doesn't work, dealing with fixers, random guys outside the Bureau of Immigration office who promise to make it easier. Stay away from these guys. Just don't. That is my advice. Submit your documents to actual Bureau of Immigration personnel or properly accredited entities and nobody else. The amount of money you're going to save going into the fixer route is not worth the amount of trouble it can create, and it's going to probably cost you more in the long run. The 13A gives you permanent residency. It's renewable, and once you're through the initial process, pretty stable. 4 years on mine, and it's been straightforward. Now, category 2, former Filipino citizens. If you were born Filipino, becoming a U.S. citizen, and now want to return permanently, you got 3 options, and they're actually all pretty good. Option 1, reacquire dual citizenship. This is probably the cleanest path for most former Filipino citizens. There's a process for it. It's called reacquiring Filipino citizenship. And once you have it, you can stay in the Philippines indefinitely because you're a Filipino. Simple as that. Option 2, the 13G visa. This is the returning former natural-born Filipino citizen visa. It's essentially permanent residency for people who were born Filipino, became citizens of another country, and want to come back. You can apply at the Bureau of Immigration main office. Bring in all your original documents. Don't deal with anyone outside the official process. Again, it will just be a headache. Option 3, the SRRV. Same retirement visa available to native-born Americans, available to former Filipino citizens as well. Now, category 3, dual citizens. This is actually the simplest situation of all 3. You're a Filipino citizen. Filipino citizens can stay in the Philippines indefinitely. You don't need a visa. You're home. That's right. The one thing I want to flag here, because it catches people off guard, if you're a dual citizen living in the Philippines and earning income or running a business, U.S. tax law still applies to you. You're still a U.S. citizen, and U.S. taxes its citizens worldwide, regardless of where you live. You're going to be filing a federal income tax. Talk to a tax professional who understands expat tax situations before you move, not after. So
in the end, it always comes down to money.
The honest summary on all of this, if you're a native-born American who's married to a Filipina, the 13A is your most direct path, and it's a solid one. If you're single or married to a non-Filipina, the SRRV is your main option, and it's legitimate, well-established, If you're a former Filipino citizen, you've got more options than most people realize, and dual citizenship is probably worth a serious look. And if you're already a dual citizen, congratulations. You've got the simplest situation in the room. Go ahead and smack a like, even for yourself. Now, one more thing before I wrap up. The new Philippine immigration modernization law is coming, as I was saying, at some point, and when it does, it's expected to expand the options considerably for foreign nationals who want to stay long term. I don't know the timeline. I don't know when it's going to be. I'm not even going to speculate on it, but it's worth keeping an eye on because it could change the picture meaningfully. And in the meantime, if you're in the planning stage and visa status is one of the things keeping you up at night, hopefully this cleared some of that up. It's not as complicated as it looks from the outside. There's a path for most situations. You just need to know which one is yours. 4 years in on 13A, still here, still figuring things out. I mean, that's part of the job. Just remember, be excellent to each other. This was never about the Philippines. It's about how you show up when you get here. Slap a like, give us a subscribe, share, and be sure to check out these 2 videos here. They'll get your mind right if you're planning on heading to the Philippines. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.